Do you crave exciting sports takes and news? Fed up with the same old boring voices you hear on the radio? If you answered yes to any of these questions, you just might be a TBloomaholic. Lucky for you, it's time for another episode of the TBloom Talk Show, the #1 sports podcast in the world. Settle in, my TBloomanites, because another episode starts right now. Live from TBloom headquarters, here's your host, TBloom.
Yeah, if it stinks, you have to. Just tell them it stinks. That's what I do. Are we good? All right. Nation, what's going on? It's your host, TBloom, back with another TBloom Talk Show. We are second round of the Divisional fucking NFL playoffs. Big week and a big podcast for you guys today. We got 3 guests on. That is a world record, TBloom world record. 3 different guests on today. First, of course, Sir Charles VIII will be coming on. We'll be going through our top 10 running backs of the 2022-2023 NFL season. Plus, Jones in for Jones is coming back today on this podcast. We're going to talk some Texas A&M football, little Texas A&M men's basketball, and of course, we're going to get predictions from all these guys. And last but certainly not least, for the first time ever, Chiii, a.k.a. Justin Child, will be on today for the first time ever in the TBloom Talk Show. He's going to talk a little Patriot football and, of course, give his predictions for the playoffs games coming up. I'm sorry. I mean, I'm rambling on right now. I'm messing up my words, but that's just how excited I am. Let's just go ahead and get started right now, everyone. Sir Charles VIII. Sir Charles VIII back on for another one. I mean, I don't even know what fucking one we're on right now. What is this, the 6th?
6, something like that.
We're getting in
6 or 7.
We're starting to approach those double digits, and it's starting to become a staple.
We have to cover the Pro Bowl if we're gonna make double digits.
Fuck the Pro Bowl, dude. You know, let's just start off with that because I had some ideas of the Pro Bowl. I'm glad you brought that up. You know what I think?
Pete Davidson, right? Isn't he one of the fucking guys? It's Pete Davidson and Snoop Dogg are the captains this year.
Yeah, see, there's a problem right there. Why the fuck are
it's flag football, isn't it?
Snoop Dogg,
I don't even know.
But Pete Davidson, come on now. What the fuck does that guy got to do with anything?
Dude, I used to love that game when I was a kid, like 15 years ago.
Back when they used to fucking play?
Yeah. Oh, man, that was a great game every year.
The thing is, I think they need to bring some incentive to it. Like maybe you take, instead of having the Pro Bowl with a bunch of players that don't give a fuck, there's no reason to win. Maybe you take the last, or maybe you make a tournament. You take the 4th worst teams in the league and you have a tournament and they all battle for the first overall pick.
But I think sounds like a bunch of shitty football to me. That sounds like
I'm down to watch it. I mean, it couldn't
football.
get any shittier than the Pro Bowl.
True. You know what they should do? Players love money. They should just give the winning team, each player gets $500,000. They'll be out there playing. I promise you that. Sure. That's a check. Yeah.
Yeah, no, I agree with that 100%. But yeah, they got to do something with that Pro Bowl because the Pro Bowl ain't shit, man.
Dude, it's sad. It really is.
It ain't shit. But fuck. Yeah. I mean, so we got a couple things to go over. We got obviously the game predictions, and we also have the thing I'm most excited about: top 10 running backs in the league for the 2023 or 2022-2023 season.
This was hard.
Yeah, like we were talking about earlier, 10 through 6.
Yeah. Dude, I have 4 honorable mentions. I mean, I didn't know it. I mean, it's
okay. Do you want, or no? Yeah. You want to do those at the end? Let's do those.
That's what I was. Yeah, we'll have to do those at the end.
That way, you still have the
list. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. Let's start out with you. You start out with your number 10 first.
All right, number 10. This surprised me. I mean, Miles Sanders. I watched a lot of Eagles games this year, and he was always going good. But man, he put up some stats this year. It's kind of good to see. He's been injury ridden. Only 20 catches. That's kind of his downfall. That's why he's at 10 because he was great rushing numbers, 1,200 yards, 11 touchdowns. He benefited from Jalen Hurts. Obviously, I mean, you got to kind of watch him too. But good year for him, and maybe he's finally living up to that. All that. Draft talk before he was picked.
Yeah, so he only had 20 catches?
20 catches for 75 yards. That's what I saw. Yeah, it surprised me too. But I mean, they use a lot of backs though. They got Gainwell in there, and
right. Gainwell is the back they use. Yeah, I mean, since you said the reason why I wanted you to go first because it was between my 10 was between him, Or my 10 officially right now, Najee Harris, baby. I'm
Oh,
going
really?
Naj, baby.
Wow.
I think, okay, you take into terms with the lack of O-line he had. I mean, they turned it around after the bye week this
Yeah,
season, but our O-line is trash, man.
trash.
The guy, he works and grinds for every yard he can get. Now, obviously, he doesn't have the stats to back up, to be
Not this
one of
year.
the best, but I
That
still think
average.
the eye test to me is everything. And obviously, I'll watch every single Steeler game, so I
That's
watch it.
fair.
I watch him all the time. But I still think like he the way he plays, he still should be in the top 10. I think. And like you said, Miles Sanders, man, I didn't know he had 1,200 rushing yards this season.
Yeah, impressive. Yeah.
Very impressive. All right, go number 9.
Number 9, this is another one, man. Tony Pollard, 186 carries for 988 yards and 9 touchdowns. Are you kidding me? Why is Zeke on the field? First of all, I mean, looking at these stats, what? 39 catches, 371 yards, and 3 more touchdowns. I mean, this is what everyone's kind of been talking about. We'll see how next year goes, but man, I mean, electric. He was efficient, and he didn't even get a lot of work, obviously, and almost cracked 1,000 yards. Good year.
Yeah, great year for Tony Pollard. He's actually
Mhm.
my number 9 too.
Hey,
So
look at that.
we're pretty consistent so
Yeah,
far. So
yeah.
yeah, Tony Pollard, man, I thought specifically fantasy wise, he kind of turned it on late last year, and it really seemed like he
Mhm,
was the better back than Ezekiel Elliott. We all
mhm.
know what Zeke did in his past and stuff like that, but Tony Pollard, and he's also still sharing snaps with Zeke,
A
so
lot.
he hasn't even like came into his full starting potential yet, and he's still putting up numbers. And yeah, Tony Pollard, he's a special one. Did you see what Skip Bayless had to say about Tony Pollard?
Oh yeah, what over Christian McCaffrey? Get out of First of all, I don't care what Skip Bayless has to get. So that guy's a joke. Get him off TV. Goddamn senile. I used to watch when I was a kid, first take with him. Okay. Now I can't stand the guy. But
Yeah,
yeah, but Tony Pollard, the only thing is they always talk about they don't give him the workload because maybe he's fragile and they know that. But so we'll see if he gets better. But I mean, either way, great guy to have on your team.
yeah, Tony Pollard, he's the
Yeah.
man. He's the man.
And then
Uh,
let's see, number 8, I got Aaron Jones. 200 carries, over 1,000 yards, only 2 touchdowns, but that was AJ Dillon's fault, let's be honest. And 56 receptions, 275 yards, and he got his 5 touchdowns there, so he kind of made up for it. Just not a lot of carries and still putting up really solid numbers in a time when you don't get a lot of guys cracking 1,000 yards. This isn't 10 years ago. I mean, that's
mhm,
kind of a milestone again. So I don't know why they gave AJ Dillon all those touches. He didn't have a great year in my eyes. I'm kind of
mhm.
disappointed, but maybe Aaron Jones gets more of the workload again and jumps back into the top 5 next year because I think he's got that potential for sure.
You know what's funny?
You got
My
him too,
number
don't
8 is
you?
Aaron Jones, dude. Wow. Okay, 3 for 3 so
Great
far.
minds, great minds.
Aaron Jones, yeah, man. Like you said, I mean, he's still splitting touches with AJ Dillon. I don't know why they're so high on him. I mean, don't get me wrong, he's not a bad
He-
back by any means,
yeah,
but
no.
he's a situational type back. He's not a back that I think he should take more from Aaron Jones, like 50-50 wise. I think it should be
No.
more, okay, goal line. Maybe that's when you put in AJ Dillon.
Mm-hmm.
You don't make it an issue to make sure that he's getting the same amount of touches as Aaron Jones, in my opinion. And I read a stat today. I wish I would have saved it, but it had something to do with he's like he's like one of the only players. He's above Barry Sanders, Eric Dickerson, and averaging like 5 yards per carry in his first 5 years or something like that.
I could see
One
that.
of those stats
He's
that's
one of those
very,
guys.
yeah. I mean, but no, he's a sneaky back, and not many people think about him when they think about these premier backs in the league. And I think if he did get 100% of those touches, maybe in a more run heavy system, he could be that top 5 back very easily.
And he kind of was before. I mean, AJ Dillon's rookie year, obviously, but I had him on my fantasy team, not this past year, but the year before. Man, he was great. I mean, he was my number 1 back. He was killing it. So maybe he gets back to that. He's getting older too, but
Mm-hmm.
yeah, he's one of those guys. Number 7, I got Dalvin Cook, 250 carries or so, 1,100 yards, 8 touchdowns. 38 receptions, 295 yards, 2 more touchdowns. I mean, he's consistent. He's always hurt, man. He's always got a shoulder brace on, and he just goes out and plays anyways, and he always puts up numbers. And you kind of gets lost in the Jetta hype now because they're always talking about Jefferson, Jefferson, Jefferson. Like, man, Dalvin Cook is a damn good running back, and they aren't anywhere near what they are without him. Like, yeah, Madison's good, and you hear a lot of talk about that, but he's not Dalvin Cook, and he kind of showed that this year. They gave Madison more of a chance, and he didn't really live up to it. So Dalvin Cook, number 7. yeah, I wanted to put him higher, but I just couldn't justify it. I've always liked Dalvin Cook, but number 7.
Okay, so we got some variation here. I'm going number 7, Jamal Williams.
Oh,
Jamal
okay.
Williams
Oh, he's all
broke
right.
Barry Sanders' record this year. I couldn't keep
Yeah.
him off the top 10, man.
Yeah.
Jamal Williams, dude. I don't have the stats right in front of me,
Touchdowns.
but
Didn't even, yeah.
I think
All
that's
right.
you
15, I
break
think.
Barry Sanders' record,
Yeah.
you're getting in the top 10. I'm a Barry Sanders
He's in my honorable mentions. I get you. Barry Sanders, best running back of all time.
yeah.
In my eyes, doesn't have the numbers, obviously,
And
back,
this is
but
a
I mean,
pass heavy team. Detroit
yeah,
is
for
not a
sure.
run heavy team. This is a
Mhm.
pass heavy team. Let me just bring up these Do you have the stats in front of you?
Dude, I do actually. Let me see what I got right here.
What's his shit? Because I could have swore it was
Where are we? Jamal Williams. He had 246 carries, 994 yards. So only 4 yard average. That's kind of not great, but 15 touchdowns. And then he had 12 receptions for 73 yards. So, I mean, 15
okay.
rushing touchdowns. I think he led the NFL, if I'm not wrong about that.
I'm pretty sure he led the
Touchdown.
NFL.
Yeah. And he was great, but just his average. He's in my honorable mentions. He didn't make my top 10, honestly. But
Okay. That's
yeah,
fair.
he's good back for sure. It's weird to see him take so much from DeAndre Swift. I still don't understand what's going on in Detroit there because
Yeah.
I think that talent is amazing. I know he gets hurt, but good God, just let him go. But anyways, that's beside the point. I understand Jamal Williams, but yeah,
Yeah.
let's see where he goes next year. Maybe he's going to keep playing.
I think he stays in Detroit.
Oh, I think he stays, but he used to be Aaron Jones' backup, kind of the AJ Dillon role. And then moved on, and man, he looked really good this year. I never thought of him as a feature back, but he wasn't bad.
15 touchdowns. That was enough to break mine. That's all I had in mind. He broke Barry Sanders' record. Hey, that's enough. You're in the
He was one of my
10.
debates. He was right there in my debate. Yeah. All my 8 through honorable mentions could be switched out, man. It's close. But
okay. All right.
All right. Number 6, we got Nick Chubb. 290 carries, 1,448 yards, 12 touchdowns, 22 catches. Man, he doesn't do much in the pass game. That's kind of my only knock on him. Dude can run the ball. I mean, you can feed him and give him the ball, and he just keeps going and going and going. As far as just like a pure runner, that's kind of just it's the way he runs is just it's pleasing to watch, man. He just fucking hits the hole. He runs hard. Kind of an old school back that you don't see a lot of guys run like that anymore. If he could just get some more passing game work, man, he could be the top back in the NFL if he had some better hands. So, but he's good. Didn't quite crack the top 5. That was another tough one. But if he could catch more passes, he'd be in the top 5.
Yeah, I hear what you're saying. Yeah, because it is that type of league nowadays. To be the best running back, you got to be able to do both. And I just realized I have 2 6s. So we're going to just bump everyone back a little bit. We're going to take Miles Sanders off the top, throw him as an honorable mention, and I'm going to bring in my 6, Dalvin Cook.
Hey, okay. There you go.
I have the same thing, like same understanding, like same reasoning as you is what I'm trying to say. Just a guy that flies under the radar.
Interesting.
Well, I'm taking out Miles Sanders.
Oh, okay.
Everyone just kind of bumps.
Gotcha.
Yeah. Right.
But that means you have interesting.
Yeah. So Dalvin Cook, like you said, man. To me, he flies under the radar. You don't really remember he plays for the team, first of all, because he switched his number.
So, that threw me off so bad this year.
Yeah, until you're watching the Vikings and you're like, is that the same Cook? Is that Dalvin? Oh, that is Dalvin. But yeah, the dude he's a great player. Great running back. Just kind of flies under the radar. And, I mean, obviously there's so much targets that go to Justin Jefferson. And in that passing game specifically, Adam Thielen and stuff like that. So they're not a very run-heavy team.
Now, I mean, they got weapons.
Yeah, so, but I still think he's top 10. Great premier running back.
For sure. All right, let's see. 5, I got Derrick Henry. Him and Nick Chubb were close. Honestly, he had 319 carries, 1,400 yards, 13 touchdowns. Kind of standard for him. He started off slow this year, but he got going near the end. And he had 32 catches for 379 yards. I mean, look at that. Derrick Henry getting some passing game work. You like to see it. I don't know. I like him. He reminds me of Jerome Bettis. I loved Jerome Bettis when I was a kid. I never liked the Steelers, but just that big bruising back. But he's quick, man. With like that deceiving speed. Like you don't see it coming, and then he gets in the open field, and you're like, damn, I can't even catch this guy. Mm-hmm. And so number 5, cracked the top 5 just barely. He's kind of winding down. I think he's tailing off in his career. So I kind of wonder how his next few years are going to be. Don't draft him in fantasy. That's my advice. But
dude, that's been my advice For this year,
yeah,
I've been like, oh, he's fucking coming down. There's
he's
no
done.
way.
Yeah,
Derrick Henry,
way.
come on.
Yep.
Especially this year because he didn't have shit around him.
And he keeps getting hurt, but fuck, man, he's a good running back.
So I'm gonna do. So we're on 5. Yeah, I'm gonna combine to 5 since I fucked up my list because I have 11 people. But so we'll combine my 5 as Derrick Henry and Nick Chubb.
Yep.
Those are my because they're almost the same back in a way. Fucking power backs, old school. Feed me the rock. I'll get you 30 carries and I'll get 100 whatever fucking yardage and at least a couple TDs. Yeah, I mean Nick Chubb and Derrick Henry, they're just those old school backs. You don't see a lot of them anymore, especially in like when you think about the top 5 running backs in the league. I mean, they don't catch passes. They just don't, and it hurts them. But it's also cool to see that there still are those bruisers in the league, and I think every team needs a good bruising back like that.
It's impressive to stand up to that workload week in and week out that those guys do, man. Because I mean, you see a lot of guys try and they can't take it. I always like to see it. I miss the old school running backs where there was just one running back. Those were the days for sure.
Yeah, the workhorse.
Yep.
Yeah.
Number 4, this is controversial. I think this is the guy, Austin Eckler. So his running numbers, obviously not fantastic. 193 carries, so not a lot. 881 yards. So he had rushing numbers real similar to Tony Pollard. But he also had 13 touchdowns, which is a lot. He's kind of a touchdown machine, man. But he also had 103 receptions for 686 yards.
Yeah.
And 5 more touchdowns. I mean, are you kidding me? That's ridiculous. I mean, he's just a weapon. He's one of those backs that, he's not. But he's a running back. Watch him play. I know he's kind of slick. But, man, he gets the touchdowns in the goal line, too. And it surprises you. Yeah. So his touchdown numbers alone pushed him up there. He's the one that I was iffy if I should even, just because of, his usage is so much, more of a receiver. But he's top 5 in today's NFL as a running back. Maybe not 20 years ago, but he is today.
Yeah, I agree. I mean, Austin Eckler, he's also my 4. He's almost the opposite of what Derrick Henry and Nick Chubb are. He's
exactly.
a fucking
polar opposite.
Pretty much just the receiving guy. He doesn't get like stupid numbers rushing the ball, but I mean the production he has when he does have the ball through the passing game, all those touchdowns, and maybe it's because of the Chargers offense. That's their style of ball. They like to dump it off to the running back, do a lot of screens. So he gets a lot of opportunities, but there's a lot of backs that get opportunities and don't do what he does. I mean, he gets fucking touchdowns. Sure. And if we're talking about fantasy, Austin Eckler, arguably number 1.
PPR for sure.
Yeah, PPR, Austin Eckler, if you have him, that's guaranteed 20-point game.
And if you don't play PPR, play PPR. What are you doing?
Yeah, PPR is...
Yeah, it's the only way.
Yeah.
It's kind of the only way, in my opinion.
Yeah, PPR is a shit. All right, so we both agree with Austin Eckler, number 4.
Yep. Number 3, this was tough. My top 3, I moved around probably 3 or 4 times. I kept changing it, copy, paste. There's a lot of that today. But number 3, Saquon Barkley, 295 carries, 1,300 yards, 10 touchdowns, 57 receptions, 338 yards. He looks like himself again. And when he's healthy in himself, he's a top running back in the league, specifically talent-wise. The Giants were, I mean, they obviously, they're still playing, so that says something. But they came along at the end of the year, man. And if they can get this line a little better, get some more weapons on the wide receiver end, man, I like what they got going. I know there's a lot of talk. Will Barkley's, I think they got to sign him now. I know he's getting near. He might be up. He might be a free agent after this year.
Believe he is. I believe he is.
You're signing him after this season. You made the divisional round. You're bringing him back. You're bringing Danny Jones back. You're running this again. I don't think there's a question about that. So yeah, man, I'm excited. I hope he can stay healthy. He's one of my favorite backs. When he came out of college, I was pumped because he just, that rookie year was impressive. Then he gets hurt. You hate to see it, but he looks like he's finally healthy again. So number 3.
Okay. All right. My number 3, I'm going Josh Jacobs.
Oh,
Josh Jacobs. Okay. He led the league, and this was a year where everyone was shitting on him. Fucking pre. They're like, especially in fantasy.
He's done.
Don't draft Josh Jacobs. He's done. This isn't even going to be a running team. It's going to be a Derek Carr, Devontae Adams show. And he came out and fucking led the league in rushing yards.
Yeah.
I mean, to me, that's impressive in its own.
Yeah.
Not to mention, it was kind of a passing team. I mean, Derek Carr to Devontae Adams, and they want to use Derek Carr as much as they can because they thought that was the guy. Obviously,
they did.
turn out that way. And Josh Jacobs, he's looking like he's going to be moving on from the Raiders.
That interview he had,
interview
man.
where he's like,
Yep.
it's the same thing every year. I mean, stuff's not changing. It looks like he's going to be moving on. So I'm excited to see where he goes from here. Because, I mean, I don't even. There's a lot of teams you could. Every team can use a running back. Shit. I mean, there's not a lot of teams that have fucking. Oh God! Don't say that shit. Don't even say that shit. The Ravens better worry about getting Lamar Jackson back.
Miami Dolphins. What about that?
I don't think. I think
that'd be scary though. Jesus.
I think Mike McDaniels
plays again.
He's I mean, he's a fucking Kyle Shanahan. What do you
but
call
look
that?
what Shanahan did this year. He went and got CMC, and he had
but CMC's a fucking rusher and a receiver, and I think
Austin Eckler is more the style that you would think McDaniel would want. I mean, look at him; he's picking off the Niners. He's got fucking Mostert and Jeff Wilson Jr.
For sure,
He's taking old Niner backs right now. He knows, he's like, I want these guys.
He wants those backs that can sort of do it all, and he doesn't need. I mean, obviously, it'd be great if you could get CMC, a guy who could fucking run the ball and catch the ball at such a high level.
He's the man.
The way his offense is designed, he wants to be able to have passing backs, and he probably doesn't want to spend as much money as it's going to take to get Josh Jacobs on the Miami Dolphins, because
they better start saving for Waddle. Whew, yeah.
When's Waddle's contract due?
Oh, this is his second year. They got some time, but he's by then, if he keeps playing the way he's playing,
he's going to be due. Okay.
Number 2, I got Christian McCaffrey. The fan in me wanted to put him number 1. I mean, 234 carries, almost 1,100 yards, 8 touchdowns, 82 receptions, 700 receiving yards, 4 more touchdowns. I mean, he does everything on the field. Every time he's on the field, he's the best offensive weapon. I think he's the best offensive weapon in football. He's right up in that conversation. I mean, you watch him run, and people say, oh, he's not, but he runs through people. You don't think about it until you watch him play. Like, he will run right through someone, and you respect it, man, because he's not a big dude, but he plays his heart out. And look at the effect he had on San Francisco. They haven't lost since he joined the team. I think that kind of says something. I mean, you had such a good season. You went to this team, and they haven't lost.
That's a pretty good stat right there. Yeah.
They were, 4-4 when they got him? I mean, yeah. So
season could have went anywhere.
Exactly. They were on the verge, but CMC number 2 this season. Number 1 next year.
Well, I mean, he could very well easily. He's like, it's like 1A, 1B, 1C almost. But yeah, he's my second one too. And like you said, man, the dude is just, he can do everything. He can fucking catch the ball at an elite level. He could go out and play receiver. If you were to say, hey, Christian McCaffrey can never be handed off the football again, he would still have the same value.
I'll take him. I'll keep the contract. We're good. Just put him. Just throw him in the slot.
Put his ass in the slot. Yeah, and fucking he's just that kind of guy. And it was very cool to see him stay healthy for a whole fucking year this season. Because
him and Saquon both, man, it was really good to see them.
Those were 2 backs early in the fucking fantasy, and I keep bringing up fantasy because that's the filter that we use.
I get that absolutely. I'm with you.
I stayed away from him because I was like, fuck, I don't trust that they're going to be healthy. I don't want to use my first round pick on a guy that I don't know.
JT number 1. I wanted to take McCaffrey, but I mean,
you took who?
Jonathan Taylor. Look, that bit me in the ass.
Oh, wow.
Thank God exactly I got Barkley in the 3rd round. Thank God I got Barkley in the 3rd round.
Damn.
But right. But CMC, man.
See, that's how far he dropped because no one, it's just the injuries.
Everyone was scared.
Yeah. I was scared as shit.
I wasn't. I wanted him. But.
Well, who's your first? Is it
who I think Josh Jacobs. I mean, I really debated about this because a lot of his production came in a couple games. He had a couple 250 plus games with 4 touchdowns. I mean, you look at the stats overall, he had a good year. He had some really bad weeks too. But I think with him leading the league in rushing yards, being right at the top in touchdowns and 51 receptions, that really threw me off. 395 yards. Yeah, 51 receptions. I mean, guy kind of did it all this year. So I'll give him number 1 this year. Let's see if he can keep it up. I hope it wasn't a fluke. You see a lot of that with running backs kind of over the years. Like, oh, look at this amazing season. And
he's had a couple of seasons where it wasn't as good, but it's kind of getting better every single year. Because,
it's grown. Yeah. But because Derrick Henry, I thought would be a one-hit wonder. Look at that guy now. But we'll see. Remember he's my number 1.
You remember the days where Derrick Henry was like looking like,
remember he was on the waiver wire all the time, just constantly being picked up and dropped.
Who was in front of him? Who was in front of him before he came? Was it Chris Johnson?
Yeah, I think so. Which is weird
Look
because they
this
went from
up.
speed back to fucking grinder.
Because I remember he was the backup, and I
Your
was like,
favorite
oh,
app.
once he fucking comes. Oh, shut the fuck up. Where's that sex doll, dude? I need to
I
get that
know.
shit
I'm
out.
sorry. I know. Well, this weekend we're gonna communicate. We're gonna get that figured out.
Okay. Well, I'll
Yeah.
give you an address to send it to.
All right.
All right.
Gotcha.
But yeah, fucking Derrick Henry, he's behind someone. I was like, oh, once he gets the starting fucking spot, it's gonna be lights out and he's gonna be great. But then the first year he started, he didn't even have that great of a year. Then all of a sudden it just fucking
Garbage.
took off.
That one Monday night game where he had that 99-yard touchdown run, he never looked back.
Yeah.
That was it. That literally was the turning point. From that point on, he's been a monster. Before that, he was like average.
Mm-hmm.
Weird, but that's what happened.
Yep. All right.
Uh,
Well, my number one, as you could probably guess, I'm going Saquon Barkley, man. I mean, the man is just
I don't blame you.
he's so fucking big, but moves like CMC. He's so
He's
shifty and just he's fast.
Barry Sanders. I'm not saying he's Barry Sanders. Barry Sanders
Mhm.
S the way he is. Just
He's so agile.
yes, he should that size and that power. You should not be that quick.
It's a
And
created running back on Madden, is what it is.
oh yeah, no, and
Create a
the
running back,
Giants.
it'd be fucking Saquon Barkley.
He won some of these games. Trust me, I had Barkley on my fantasy team. I watched a lot of Giants games this year. He won them.
Yeah.
At least 3 games with, 80. That's what I like to see this year. He was back with the 80-yard home runs, just break through the line and you can't touch him. He's gone. And that's what had been missing. And he's back, man. I hope he goes into next year rolling. Heck, maybe they beat the Eagles this week. Who knows?
We'll talk about that
I
in a
would
sec.
I'd love to see it.
I hope to see what the Giants do in terms of who they're gonna what other weapons they're gonna surround them with. Because if they get fucking a premier receiver,
Beckham Jr. is coming home, baby. I'm calling it right now.
I think I could see it. I don't know if
He's
Odell's going to be the Odell
I don't think so, but he's better than any other receiver on that team. I forgot my honorable mentions. Honorable mentions. All right. I want to shout out Jamal Williams, led the NFL in rushing touchdowns. Travis Etienne missed his rookie year, kind of his rookie year. Killed it. I didn't realize he ended up with 1,100 rushing yards. But yeah, great year. Ramondre Stevenson broke out. I'm curious to see what he does with a full year. I think Damian Harris is kind of after this.
Fucking by the way the Patriots go, dude, they're gonna move on and draft a new back. Because last year was Damian Harrison, and then this year it's fucking.
Man, Bryce Hall. If he wouldn't have gotten hurt, I'm pretty sure he would have been in my top 10. Watching that guy play, he's gonna be. It might take him a year to. Next year might be slow after this injury. Give him a few years. Like it took Barkley a while. He's good. He's a really good back, and I can't believe. Yeah, I see why everyone was talking about him and going into the draft. So,
well, good shit. Fucking top 10 running backs.
Oh yeah,
we'll be doing top 10 QBs next week.
Let's do it. That should be fun. That should be fun.
That's gonna be. I'm
excited for top 10 tight ends because there's gonna be like 3 and then just a bunch of.
Oh, I know. People. That's gonna be like who? We're gonna have to dig deep for that one. This will be like number 10, whatever. I like his name.
Super Bowl show. That'll be our Super Bowl. We'll do top 10 tight ends.
We'll do top 10 tight ends. Yep. I love it. All right. So next week, QBs.
Yep.
And then, okay. All right. Fucking, let's get to these games, man. Let's start it off right now. We're going to start it off, put you on the hot seat. San Francisco, Dallas fucking Cowboys. Who you got?
Let's go. First of all, I got the Niners. My dad's flying in tomorrow. He's going to be in Texas with me for this game, which is cool. Haven't seen him in a year. Shout out, Pops.
I keep forgetting you live in Texas, so that was not all that Niners shit.
2 more months, and I'm out this bitch. But anyways, don't move to Texas, kids.
Okay.
Don't. Okay. Anyways, this is the rival, man. This is the classic 80s, 90s rival with me. This is the one I always heard about as a kid growing up, that Cowboys-Niners. And honestly, most of it was the Cowboys kicking their ass in the playoffs. We'll see how it goes. I mean, I think the Cowboys are outmatched. I think the Niners, the Cowboys got the talent. They just don't have the chemistry. Niners 35-31. So I think it's going to be a pretty big game.
You think it's high scoring?
I do. I don't know, dude. The Cowboys impressed me last week. And I know the Niners, look how much they bent in that first half last week against the Seahawks. They let up some points. They pulled it together in the second half, thank God. But
that Geno Smith fumble really fucking turned the tide. That I was like, damn, was the fucking Seahawks really make this a game? And then they finally Geno Smith turned it over. And then that was it from there. It was just
And I didn't expect the Cowboys to be here. First of all, I thought the Bucs were going to beat them. So that kind of threw me off.
You know what's funny? So you know the brackets?
Yeah, of course.
Most people picked the Bucks to win.
I believe it.
Only a few people got points for picking the fucking Cowboys, and that
after this week, I think I'm gonna start racking them up with these Niners wins. So a couple more weeks.
Yeah. You're gonna have to get some points correct because that dude Brandon, man, he's
fucking
guessing
asshole, dude.
Yeah.
I know. What the fuck is this? First of all,
oh my goodness, dude, he's just guessing so many exact fucking scores. It's ridiculous.
Hey, whoever this Brandon guy is, go fuck yourself.
Go. I'll let him know. I'll let him know. Brandon, you heard it here.
But dude, I'm excited for this game. I don't know. I'm getting really into this. Every time the Niners get into the playoffs, I get super excited. Niners going to pull it off. Cowboys have a lot of talent. I think the Niners just really have the edge in coaching, man. I mean, I've never really liked Mike McCarthy, right? I didn't even like him in Green Bay. Rodgers won that Super Bowl. It was not McCarthy. McCarthy probably lost more playoff games than Aaron Rodgers. Let's be honest. I kind of got fired for it. But man, this is historically the Cowboys in the playoffs are 5-2 against the Niners. But last year we knocked them out, and this isn't the 80s and 90s anymore.
Mm-hmm.
You don't want to play our defense. Their defense is good, but they break. They give up a lot of big plays. We don't seem to do that. Purdy held up great in the first playoff game. Bright lights. You always wonder, but man, he looks like a monster. I'm so happy he's on our team. He's our starter next year at this point for sure. I mean, it is what it is. They already said if Garoppolo comes back this year too, he's a backup. So I think that
Garoppolo for sure. There. But do you think if let's say you guys go out and lose, God forbid you guys lose against the Cowboys this week, is it automatically locked in? Holy fuck, already 10?
Oh man, okay.
All right. But yeah, just quick answer. Is he already locked in?
I think so. I don't think Trey Lance has done anything.
Well, you already said you think Trey Lance has played his last snaps.
Yeah. So
okay.
Yeah. Niners.
All right. I'm gonna go ahead and I was looking at some stuff. Someone bring up the fact that this is probably the best defense Brock Purdy has played against in his whole career. I mean, you can argue maybe the Commanders, but I think this is the most complete, well-rounded defense that, he's played. Not to mention it's in the playoff game. Don't get me wrong. I want the Niners to win because I don't want any of you guys to win the Super Bowl because I can't have you guys having 6 rings. But I'd much rather have the Niners have 6 rings than the Dallas Cowboys. But man, I don't know. Something's telling me lean Dallas here. And I think it's the not the coaching experience per se, but the experience with the team. Dak's been around in the Dallas Cowboys offense for a while. He's got
he's lost a lot of playoff games for him.
He has, and hopefully, what I think has happened is he's learned a few things. He's the best way to learn is by fucking losing. So I think these lessons are going to eventually add up. I also think the Dallas Cowboys defense is going to put the pressure on Brock Purdy, maybe force the rookie to make a couple mistakes early, and I don't know why. I'm just leaning that Dallas is going to win this game. Trust me, I don't want that to be the case.
You're good. No, you're good. No worries. You're
but
good.
I can that's the way my mind's leaning right now.
I was close. I think it's going to be a really good game. But, man, when Jason Peters, they don't even know if Jason Peters is going to play. If you're telling me Dak's going out there without his left tackle against the Niners, that's going to be – I don't care who you are at court. That's a long day. That's just – you're going to get beat up a little bit, even if you're getting the ball off.
Yeah.
So, we'll see. I'm excited for that one, though, man.
Let's move on to the Jacksonville Jaguars, Kansas City Chiefs.
All right. This game is, I don't know, I'm kind of excited about it, but man, which Trevor Lawrence we're going to get, first half or second half?
Well, I'll tell you this, if they get the first half Trevor Lawrence against the Chiefs, it's going to be fucking done.
Even for a quarter, it's done. But the Jags can run with anyone when their offense is clicking. They got the personnel. They don't have the experience to match up with the Chiefs.
Zero experience.
The Chiefs playoffs, let's see how they do. I mean, are they just going to try to feed Kelsey? What happens if someone can shut down Kelsey? I mean, that's what I only worry about the Chiefs. I don't think the Jags have the guys to do it, but I think McKinnon's going to keep carrying a big receiver load. And Chiefs 35-24. Jags might come back next year with a little bit more, fight in them, but we're not there yet.
Yeah, no, I agree. I mean, the only way that I can see the Jaguars pulling this off is because they got Doug Peters, who's his only Super Bowl fucking victory was with a team that no one thought had a chance to even win a playoff game, let alone go to the Super Bowl. So he's going to have to pull out all the tricks out of the hat to make this a fucking game. I don't think it'll happen. I think the Chiefs handle this one. I like the score 34-24. I can see it being a game and the going into half. Let's say, maybe they even have a lead, 17-14 going in.
I could see it Seahawks Niners in the first, depending if Trevor Lawrence shows up. If he
That's
shows up playing, I could see it.
Yeah, I like that comparison. I can see it being that kind of way, and then the Chiefs just experience, they kind of, just takes over. So I'm gonna go Chiefs. Next one, what do we got? We got the Bengals versus the Bills.
So
the game that never happened is about to fucking happen.
I mean, we saw it coming, didn't we? I mean, we knew they were probably going to meet in the playoffs.
Yeah. I mean, how close were the fucking Bengals to losing that Ravens game, dude? QB sneak away. Yeah. Because if the Ravens get that touchdown, I mean, oh, man.
Oh, different. Yeah.
Yeah.
For sure.
But nonetheless, we have this matchup here. Who are you going?
I'm going with Bills. I think this is going to be an absolute shootout. It just has one of those feels. Both these quarterbacks like to chuck the ball. The AFC playoffs the last few years have been freaking insane TV, man. Super fun to watch. I got Bills 45-41. So, I mean, I got a shootout. We got the over-under at 49. I think that thing is going to get obliterated. Who set that?
That's what I'm saying. I went to the casino today, and I already put it in a parlay. The over has to hit, bro. I swear.
There's no way. There's no way.
Yeah. No. So I think I agree. I think the Bills, not to mention, I mean, I thought they already had enough fucking momentum and motivation to go out and go to the Super Bowl this year based on what happened last year against Kansas City.
Doubt.
Now you add the Damar Hamlin situation in there. I mean, this team is fired up, ready to go. They obviously struggled against the Miami Dolphins last week, but this was a Miami Dolphins team who had nothing to lose. It's a division opponent. They know each other very well, and they have a lot of talent on that team. So, I mean, sure, they struggled a little bit last week, but I think the Bills are going to they're going to finally, I think they're going to complete complete the prophecy, so to speak. And it's going to be a tough one. I can see it. Yeah, it's going to be tough.
It's going to be fun.
It's going to be a fucking fun one. That's for sure.
Yep.
But I'm going to go Bills too. I think it's going to go over as well. Which one do we have left? What's the last one?
Giants, Eagles.
Oh, yes. Who you got? What's going on? What's in your mind?
Dude, my heart is honest. Something's telling me Giants. I don't know why. I'm going to go with the Eagles on this. 27-21. I could be completely wrong about this. The Giants, just, I don't know, man. Something about them right now. They're that gritty team that I think you don't want to face. I mean, the Niners, everyone looks good. They're kind of getting favored right now. The Giants squeaked into the playoffs, and they have the potential. I mean, if they get going, Danny Jones is
he fucking balled out last week.
He's been on this run for like a month now, too. He is playing his heart out. I mean, they got nothing to lose, too. The Eagles they're supposed to, this is their year. They rested, they slowed down, man. They're opposite sides of the spectrum. That's my thing. The Giants are red hot. The Eagles are not. I mean, they limp.
Not at all. And Jalen Hurts.
How's he going to play?
Yeah.
I don't know about that, man. That worries me. The Eagles' run D is really good. I think if they can slow Barkley down, the Giants are obviously in trouble. I think there's a good chance that happens. If Hurts plays well, the Eagles should win this. So I'm going to go Eagles 27-21, man. But I don't know. Anyone's game.
I know what you mean. And like you said, my heart's fucking, something's telling me this Giants team, and I will not ignore it. I'm going to roll with the fucking Giants upset, baby. Not to mention, it's hard to beat a team in the division 3 times in a row.
It is.
3 times in one season.
I mean, yeah.
Boom. So I'm going to roll with that. Not to mention, like you said, one streaming up, the other streaming, or it's kind of, it's kind of on the downfall a little bit. This is like the Giants, they have nothing to lose, dude. The Eagles have so much pressure to win this game. The Giants have absolutely zero pressure to win this game. They showed that they can put up some points against the Vikings I mean, I know the Vikings defense isn't anything, premier, but they showed that they can put up some points against the Vikings, and they showed that they can play a good defensive game against a good offense in the Vikings, holding them to 24 points when a Vikings team that's used to fucking putting up at least 30. So I really like the Giants here. I think this is going to be the Giants here.
This Giants team feels like every other Giants team when they snuck into the playoffs, like Eli Manning and back and they would go. They knocked off the undefeated. You know what I mean? They have that feel to them, man. And I'm here for it. I've always loved the Giants. But yeah, let's see, man. I would love to see that. I'm not if the Niners do not win the Super Bowl, I want the Giants to win it. I'll come out and say that for
Oh, for
sure.
sure, for
They're
sure, dude.
definitely my second choice. So
Yeah.
yeah, dude, I'm
Yeah,
excited for
and
it.
the Eagles, man, all year I've been waiting for that game where they were to trip and fall, slip up, and they never really did. I mean, obviously the
Mhm.
Minshew, he
Yeah,
came
but
in,
I
had a
mean,
bag, but that's their backup quarterback. It wasn't the full Philadelphia Eagle team
exactly.
mix, and I just think that they're gonna trip up one point.
I just,
Charles, I know another guy named
well,
Charlie. He's an Eagle fan. I'm sorry, but I have to go with the Giants,
you're
man.
picking the upsets in the NFC
I
today, man.
know,
Both
man.
sides.
Well,
Whoo! And NFC East,
oh, I am.
NFC
Is that
Championship far. You are, man.
Mm.
What the only thing too, what if Hurts there was a lot of talk about will he be ready for the playoffs? Dude, what if he gets hit funny and lands on that shoulder again?
Was
Then
it
the
his throwing
Giants are
shoulder?
I don't remember. I'm not sure, honestly,
Fuck,
but I know
we
that
got a
there was
minute. Let me
talk.
see the.
Yeah, there was
Okay.
talk when he got hurt that after a couple weeks, because they kept saying he's fine, and then he wasn't playing, and there was, will he even be ready if they for their divisional round game? There was talk about that about a month ago. So what if he takes a funny hit? Man? I mean, I know it can happen to anyone, but I mean that could really just ruin the Eagles season.
I'm not getting anything which shoulder it was, but it doesn't matter, man.
Yeah,
I'm still rolling with the fucking Giants. We got less than a
I
minute.
hope you're right, man.
Sir Charles, it's a fucking blessing having you on the show. Appreciate it. Always a good
Absolutely.
time. We'll see you next week. Good luck to you, San
Yes,
Francisco
sir.
49ers. I hope you guys win, but I don't know. I got that feeling, man.
I appreciate it.
All right. Sir
Yeah.
Charles, everyone.
All right.
All right.
Adios.
Dose. All right, everyone. I hope you enjoyed Sir Charles VIII there. It's his 6th episode ever. I mean, it's pretty much become a standard. He's pretty much become a staple on the TBloom Talk Show. Next, we're going to transition over to Jones and for Jones, coming back right now. Jones and for Jones, everybody. Hope you enjoy. All right. Stephen Jones,
Yes, sir.
a.k.a. Jones and for Jones.
We know it.
Welcome back to the TBloom Talk Show, my man. How you been?
I've done well, man. I just got back from a not spring break, Christmas break, and it was a lot of fun with family. So yeah, I'm just back into the routine now.
Yeah, I mean, shoot, college boy now. Second, you said you do trimesters over there?
No, it's just semesters.
Semesters? I mean, how's the second one going?
It's going well so far. I like my classes. I have my first sports management class, and that's going well.
Okay.
So yeah, I'm enjoying it, man.
Yeah. Okay. So far, what would you say? Would that be your favorite class so far?
Yeah, for sure. I mean, I also have a kinesiology class, which here kinesiology we play the sport too, and then learn it. It's like learn like about your body through it.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm doing badminton, which isn't the most fun in the world. I'm not gonna lie to you, but it's still, it's playing. It's like PE, so you can't really do much better than that.
Oh, hell yeah, dude. PE's just, I mean, that was my favorite subject since I was a elementary kid, anytime just going out there being active, that's a good time. So sports management, man, I mean, is your trajectory on the same career path? You still think going into being a sports agent type deal, or listen on some of that detail?
Yeah, that's still the goal right now. I'm also looking into like a little bit of coaching too. Might want to do that like while I'm working up, because I would like to kind of get involved with recruiting and stuff too, because then I could kind of meet future clients to begin with. Like if I was able to work with A&M's football program, I could kind of build the right relationships with that and hopefully meet some guys that can go to the NFL. And if we have a good relationship, I can help them and they can help me and stuff too. So I'm looking into that too, but I'm just kind of letting it fall as it may,
Yeah. So coaching as in like maybe possible coaching football type deal, or?
I don't know football as well. I mean, I know it like watching it, but I don't know if I could teach it. I wouldn't mind getting involved in recruiting as far as football is concerned. But if I was going to coach, it would probably have to be basketball, because I do know basketball well. And I could also, I could represent some basketball players too. There's plenty of money in the NBA, but we'll see.
So did you grow up playing basketball and stuff like that, or?
Yes, sir. I've been playing basketball since I was a little kid. I played tennis since I was a little kid. I played every sport. I think I was that last generation that actually went outside. So I played a bunch of sports, but basketball was definitely the one I played the most.
Right on, man. Right on. Well, let's segue this into let's just talk about a little about the Texas A&M football season. I know college football has been over for about 2 weeks. Speaking of which, you called it, man. You called it right from the jump. The first time I had you on, you mentioned that Georgia is just on another level. Specifically, SEC football is just on another level than all the conferences in college football. So I just want to shout out, you called that it was just going to be there was no chance that TCU had going into that game. It
was a bloodbath.
Yeah, it was a perfect description. That game was a perfect example of what you described early on of just the levels, man. There's just levels to this stuff. And I think as they expanded out to this what was it going to be, 12 teams for a playoff? I mean,
yeah, it's not next year, but the year after they're doing that. So,
man, it's just you got to think you're going to be seeing a lot more of those kind of games.
You're going to see a lot more of that, and then you're going to probably see the last four ending up being probably 4 SEC teams, if we're being honest.
Mm-hmm. No doubt. I mean, that was just a massacre. Did it mean as much that you won the Natty with the blowout? Because you're a Georgia fan, although you go to Texas A&M, you're a Georgia boy. Did it mean as much that it was a blowout, or were you kind of just like, oh wow, this?
It meant just as much in my house. I mean, me and my mom, we sat there and watched the whole thing from start to finish. We didn't even consider turning it off. We watched the celebration afterwards. It was just about the same. I don't think it was as much energy. I mean, the game before the Ohio State one, that missed field goal, I mean, the whole family was jumping up and down type of situation.
Mm-hmm.
But that one was more like we knew it was over in the first quarter. So it was just like, let's enjoy this, because it doesn't happen very often, especially going back to back. That's very rare.
Yeah, I mean, yeah. Georgia, man, just absolutely shitted on TCU. But let's segue to Texas A&M football. Give us like a quick, maybe give us a grade for how you think the season went and what's the future hold for Texas A&M.
The grade for this year, I mean, a lot of people are hating on the record 5-7, which I agree. I don't think we should have been 5-7, but there are also a lot of young guys. There were a lot of injuries, so we got to put that into account. It was a great way to end the year. Beating LSU is always great. We love that around here, but I would grade it probably like a C, which isn't the greatest, but it's also not like the complete worst. We barely passed.
Mm-hmm.
But for next year, we just hired a new offensive coordinator, so Jimbo's not going to be doing play calling anymore. Bobby Petrino is not necessarily, I mean, he's been around for a while. So, I mean, he can coach football, and if that's what, I don't know. I don't really know him personally, but there's been plenty of stories about him. So hopefully he can just recruit and he can call good plays. That's all I really care about. So I'm hoping next year, obviously bowl game would be great, but I mean, I'm trying to think a little bit past that. I'm hoping we can win 10 games. And if we win 10 games, I mean, I think the West is wide open. And if we can upset Bama, we have them at home. So if we can upset
Bama at home, that'll be fun.
That'd be interesting. We also got to go to Tennessee though. But I know they're losing like 20 plus seniors, so they might not be the same Tennessee, but going to Knoxville is not going to be easy. So hopefully they can win 10 games. That's my hope. And if they do that, they could win the West.
Okay. All right. Well, looks like things are looking up for Texas A&M football. How about the basketball team heading into not March Madness quite yet, but we're heading into like prime time NCAA basketball season. What's going on in Texas A&M basketball?
We're doing well right now. We're number 2 in the SEC. We're undefeated in the SEC right now. We're just behind Bama. I'm pretty sure as of right now. We just beat Florida at home. The whole arena was packed, so it was really awesome because we're not a basketball school, but I mean, every student it looked like was there. It was insane. It was like completely. They were having to like take people out. Like we couldn't even fit them in. So.
Wow.
It was really great. It was a good win. Florida's not the greatest, but it was a good win. So I think A&M, I think they can get to the tournament. We'll see, though. It's a long way to go.
I was just going to ask, you think they make it to the dance?
I hope so. They should have last year. They got hosed, but we'll see. If they can get hot again at the right time. I just think their identity is defense, and they're locking people up, but they just got to be able to score more. You can't win like big games only scoring like 40 and 50.
Yeah, no doubt. I mean, I've actually been pretty proud of myself. I watched a lot more college basketball than I ever have at any point in my life, like specifically regular season, because everyone watches during March Madness.
Right.
But I'm like taking the time to, watch it now. So that way, when I got to fill out my bracket, I'm not just like, pulling, random stuff out of the hat. But that's good, man. I mean, I hope you guys do make the tournament. I think that'd be cool for you as a student,
right?
To possibly be able to. Don't you guys get free tickets, or how's that whole thing work? Or
I'm not sure. It's my first time. I would love to. I would go for sure. I mean, especially if there were any games hosted in Texas. I'm not sure how that's all working out. It's always pretty random, but I think that'd be really cool. Yeah,
that would be awesome, dude. I mean, even just being at a college basketball game at Texas A&M. I mean, I'm sure that environment's pretty wild, it is, pretty intense. Well, cool, man. Hopefully Texas A&M football can get back on track. Hopefully we see you in the big dance.
Yes,
let's transition to some NFL, dude.
Let's do it.
Let's talk about your Cowboys. Let's talk about them goddamn Cowboys, man. I mean, how about that? The way they put it on Brady last weekend. I mean,
Yeah, they made that offense look really, really normal. I wasn't expecting that. Tom Brady was looking like he was getting too much pressure. He was throwing the ball away a lot, not trying to get hit. The defense put on a show. I mean, I was upset with the missed kicks, but I mean, that was atrocious. But they made up for it.
It sounds bad, but after that third one, and then he went up for that fourth one, I was kind of hoping that he'd miss it because you just never
Honestly.
see that. You just never.
Yeah.
I'm like, let's just see 4 in a row.
Might as well, right?
Yeah, might as well just do it. Did you guys? I didn't see anything about you guys moving on from him at all or anything.
I think we signed another one. It's probably gonna be like he might just be there for like insurance if he just completely has a breakdown again. We can just throw another guy in there, but I'm not sure. I saw some reports, but I could be wrong.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, because you're not going to be able to afford to miss those points against the 49ers.
No,
Speaking of which, you guys probably the best defense that old Brock Purdy's seen since he's starting. You know,
probably.
How do you see him doing against your guys' defense? How do you see this whole game going? Rather,
well, my heart is telling me that Dallas is going to find a way to get pressure and play good defense, force turnovers, and be able to, and Dak's going to be able to move the ball. But my brain is telling me that Shanahan's a great coach and he's going to get the ball out of Purdy's hands pretty early and get it to Debo, get it to McCaffrey. I mean, because they have so many weapons, even Kittle too. I didn't even mention him. And just they're going to be able to get it out quick, and it's going to be kind of frustrating for Micah Parsons. But obviously, I'm going to always go with my heart, and I'm hoping that Dallas can find a way to do it. But I think the winner of that game, honestly, is my favorite to go to the Super Bowl, and honestly, they could win it. So,
let's get a score prediction out of you.
Man, I'm going to say Dallas 31 and Niners 27.
That's a pretty high scoring game. I kind of see it a little. I think it's going to be like not necessarily a boring game, but more of a defensive battle because, you know, the Niners, they got a great D. Dallas, they got a pretty strong D too. And I think, and not to mention, what's his name? Jason Peters, left tackle. He's going to be out. You got to think that there's going to be a lot of pressure on Dak Prescott. And then on the other side of the ball, Brock Purdy, although he has been playing very well, right?
Yeah.
He's still a rookie.
True.
This is like intense playoff football. I think he's going to struggle a bit. This might be the worst game that Brock Purdy has played all season, potentially. That's kind of the way I see it. I think it's going to be like a 13-17 fucking slugfest kind of thing.
I think that would go Dallas's favor, you know? If it became a defensive game.
Yeah, I honestly, you know, I'm a Steeler fan. I don't want any of these teams getting 6. I can't have that.
Right.
But I'd rather have San Francisco get 6 than Dallas Cowboys get 6. I'm sorry, you know, that's just
I don't blame
the way
you.
it is. But my heart is also leaning towards Dallas winning this game, and it's because it's not just because of well, no, it is. It's pretty much because of the youth of Brock Purdy, and I think this Dallas Cowboys offense has just been around each other for a lot longer in terms of Dak Prescott, fucking Tony Pollard, and CD Lamb. They just seem like more of a veteran team in the sense that they've been around each other for a long longer, if that makes sense. And not to mention Dak Prescott's got a ton of experience. Not the best experience in the playoffs, but he still does have experience.
True.
So yeah, I can see you guys definitely pulling it off. So you got the Cowboys taking the Niners. Let's move on. What do you think about? Do you think Jacksonville has any chance of beating the Chiefs? Like,
they have a chance. I mean, there's always a chance. I don't even think. I mean, the way Trevor's been playing, I don't even know if they necessarily should even be in this game with how he's been playing personally. I mean, 4 interceptions, it's very rare for a quarterback to survive that.
Man.
Getting down 20 plus, going into halftime, hasn't even scored. I mean, it was a very, very tough first half, and I don't even know if they should have come back. That was a complete choke job, but Chiefs are another animal, but I'm not going to count them out. I mean, you never know. Things happen, injuries happen, different big plays happen, and you never know. I'm going to take the Chiefs, but you never know.
Score prediction. Let's see it.
I'm going to say Chiefs 35 and Jacksonville probably like 17.
I like that. I think I was just mentioning to Sir Charles, he'll be coming on before you. I think it's going to be one of those games kind of like the Seahawks Niners last week, you know, close game. First half, you know, kind of like, oh shit, are the Seahawks really going to do it? Are the Jaguars really going to do it? And then I think the the overall just eliteness of the Chiefs offense is just going to start pulling away from him. But yeah, I mean, Trevor Lawrence, although yes, he did throw fucking, what was it? It was 4 picks in the first half, right?
Yeah.
3 picks in the first quarter.
Right.
He did show the poise to at least stay in the game. I mean, he could have very easily just said, you know what, it's over. I'm not even going to, try.
Sure.
But, he came back, got that touchdown right before half and, at least made it a 3-possession game coming back out. And then I thought that was impressive because honestly, I thought after last year, I really wasn't that impressed by Trevor Lawrence. I didn't think he really had much. I thought we maybe seen a bust potentially.
Yeah.
Maybe not. Maybe not. And I think if they get more pieces around him, they could definitely put in some work, especially next year. But
Agreed.
yeah, I just think this Chiefs team is destined to meet up with the Bills, man. I think that rematch is destined. Speaking of which, we got the Bills Bengals, we got the match that never happened.
Yeah.
How do you see that one going?
They both underperformed last week. It was kind of mediocre. I mean, they were playing against backups or one was against a third string guy and they didn't look elite. So, I mean, I don't know. They're both kind of coming off some weak stuff, but I'm going to say the Bills just because I think they're playing for something other than themselves. You know what I mean? Like they're playing for something kind of bigger. So I don't know. I just have a weird feeling about the Bills winning, but I wouldn't be surprised if Joe Burrow lit them up as well too. So it's going to be interesting.
Mm-hmm. So here's a question I just thought about. If you were to start a team right now, blank slate, you don't have receivers, you don't have anything, no roster. You have to pick a quarterback, Josh Allen, Joey Burrow. Who you going?
I'm going Josh Allen if I have to pick between those.
That easy?
Two. Yeah.
Okay.
In my opinion, I just think he has all the physical tools that you want. I mean, Joe Burrow does too, but I mean, I just think Josh Allen adds a whole nother area with his running ability and just his size and toughness too.
Mm-hmm. I'd agree with you there. Yeah, I mean, just the fact that he can be a fucking fullback at any time at any point of the game,
right?
Really is kind of the puts you at a different level than Joey Burrow. Not saying Joey Burrow isn't, just absolutely phenomenal, right. But yeah, I could see this game going like 35-39. Big shootout. Right. I hope it's a shootout. You got to think it's going to be a shootout. I mean, yeah. I'm going to go with the Bills, though, too. I think, like I said, I think them and the Chiefs are just destined for an AFC championship. And not to mention the Damar Hamlin situation. Like you said, they're playing for a lot more than just football at this point. They're playing for big stakes, for, that sort of situation. What other games we got? What's the next one? Drawing blanks here.
Philly and New York.
Let's do Philly and New York. Yeah. Who are you thinking? What do you think about this one?
I really like New York's coach a lot. I mean, they're coming off a great win against a team that I thought was going to actually do a little something in the playoffs, but I had to remember it was Kirk Cousins, so I shouldn't expect that. But Philly's also coming off a bye and they're getting healthy, so that's a little bit of an interesting one. I would love for the Giants to win, but I'm expecting Philly to win.
You like pretty handedly, or?
I think it'll be closer. I mean, New York has heart. They're not going to quit. They're going to keep coming. So I think it'll probably be like a 10-point game towards the end, but it'll be a little bit closer in the third. They'll just like pull away late.
Yeah, man. I mean, I'm going to disagree. I think the Giants, I think they're going to do it because first of all, it's hard to beat a team 3 times in a row, or, 3 times in the same season. But I don't know, man. Something about this Philly team this whole season, no matter how good they've done, something about them has just, I just feel like they're going to trip up some way. Somehow, some way, I'm predicting this trip up by them. And maybe I'm just biased because Philly, I just never really thought Philly was ever that good of a team. But I don't know, man. I think this Giants, what they showed last week going up against the Minnesota Vikings, not only just being able to put up 30 points, but being able to hold the Vikings to just 24 points. I don't know, man. And Daniel Jones, that guy's playing phenomenal. I think he's definitely earned another chance next year.
I agree. I mean, his confidence on a whole nother level. You got to credit the coaching staff too. The same situation with how Tua was before he had his 6 concussions, but he was looking confident too. So, I mean, coaching staff being able to implement that, and a confident quarterback is on another level, regardless of where they started talent-wise.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, man. I mean, Do you know much about Daniel Jones coming out of college? Was he a threat at all with his running legs, or?
No, I knew he had a decent 40, but I didn't think he was going to be this much of a threat. I mean, he's good in Madden. I know that. He can run a little bit in Madden, but I wasn't expecting that at all, no.
Yeah, I mean, the guy just looks like almost like a poor man's Josh Allen. I mean, he's got the speed, but he doesn't have the big, thickness, the size that Josh Allen has, obviously. But yeah, man, if they can get another piece, a receiver around him, I know there was talks about them signing Odell, which, by the way, no one signed Odell. So all this drama about him going to these teams and visiting and all that stuff was all just for nothing. And
publicity.
Yeah, publicity for sure. I think it's just, like you said, publicity stunt by Odell Beckham. He just wants to stay relevant. I mean, we'll see where it goes next year. But yeah, man, freaking that's going to be a good game. I think that's probably going to be one of the better games. Well, maybe the Bengals-Bills. Bengals-Bills will probably be the most exciting, but I still think this Giants-Philly game has the potential to be an absolute fucking hell of a game.
I agree.
But, yeah, and then the final one, where we go? What is it again? I mean, I'm drawing blanks right now. What's the final one?
I don't remember either.
Oh,
I can look.
let's see. Sorry, Jones. It's early for me right now.
You're good. I appreciate you doing this.
Yeah, no worries. We went over all of them.
Oh, did we?
Yeah, Jags, Chiefs, Giants, Eagles, Bengals, Bills, Cowboys, Niners. Wow.
Perfect.
Okay. All right. Well, what's your season MVP? Who is your season MVP in the NFL this year? If you had to say,
I have a feeling they're going to give it to Mahomes most likely, but I mean statistically, I think it should be Mahomes. But even though I don't like Philly at all, so this is saying a lot. I think Jalen Hurts, as far as like being the most valuable player on one of the best teams, it's got to be Jalen. I mean, when he was out, they looked terrible. I mean, granted, it was the end of the year; they had it pretty much locked up, but they didn't look the same. And then he comes back and they win. So I don't know, man. I just think as far as value goes, it's got to be Jalen.
Yeah, and I think he probably would have won it if hadn't he, got that injury and been out for a couple of weeks. And then in a league like this where QBs are just putting up stupid stats every week, it's really hard. You can't miss many weeks and still be able to be in that race because Patty's just putting up stupid numbers. And it's pretty impressive that he did it without Tyreek Hill. I didn't think the Chiefs would fall off by any means, but I thought definitely would take a hit to his, performance. Yeah. Tyreek Hill, he's a walking 150 yards per game, maybe a couple TDs.
Right.
So, but I'm also impressed by how well Tyreek Hill did with the Miami Dolphins.
Yeah, they both showed each other's value. They look great together, but they also looked elite without each other. So they both showed by how great they are at their each position.
Mm-hmm. No, I shout out to Tyreek Hill, man. He showed, and then Jalen Waddle. I mean, that guy's just.
He's a beast. He's been a beast since Alabama.
He might be like the best second receiver ever, if that makes sense. The second option receiver, because Tyreek Hill's obviously number one, but Jalen Waddle's too. But if you put him on pretty much any team, he's going to be a number one option.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, I mean, Tua, if he can stay healthy, he has some weapons around him. That's for sure.
Okay, I'm gonna do this. I'm gonna do a little segment called "fucking." I don't know. I'm gonna give you two players. Okay. Yeah, the goddamn I don't know segment. I'm gonna give you two players. You tell me which one you would rather have on your team.
Let's do it.
Okay. Fuck. Okay. Miles Sanders, Tony Pollard.
Tony Pollard.
Okay. Aaron Jones, Jamal Williams.
Jamal Williams.
Okay. Calvin Cook or Najee Harris? Or Dalvin Cook. Calvin Cook.
As far as age-wise, I'm going to go Najee. If I was starting a team, I'd go Najee. I think Dalvin's better, and he's had a better career, obviously, so far. But if I was starting a team, I would say Najee.
Okay. All right. Nick Chubb, Derrick Henry.
Derrick Henry's getting older, too. He's getting a little more injury-prone. In his prime, it's Derrick Henry every single time. But I'm also a Georgia fan, so Nick Chubb.
Nick Chubb's from Georgia?
Yeah.
Oh, man. I knew he's a Southern boy. That dude's huge, but I didn't know he's from Georgia. That's cool. All right. Austin Eckler, Josh Jacobs.
They're both kind of different. Eckler's more like a red zone guy.
For sure.
Josh Jacobs can run the whole game and like stop when he gets to the red zone. So I mean, it depends on what you need and what you want. If I already have Jamal Williams, then I would go Josh Jacobs.
You don't have anybody. You don't got
Oh, I have nobody.
Yeah, it's straight up nobody.
I'd probably go Eckler then. It's
Eckler.
something about getting in the end zone and having a knack for it. It's very rare.
Did you play fantasy this year?
I did.
Okay, yeah. I mean, if you're looking through a fantasy lens, I mean, Austin Eckler's just been that man for a while now. I mean,
for sure.
Yeah, I have him ranked in my top 5 running back list. But yeah, I don't think he gets enough credit. Granted, he's not the best rusher, but then again, the Chargers aren't the best team to run the football. So
yeah,
shout out Austin Eckler. All right, last one: Saquon Barkley or Christian McCaffrey.
Man, that's a tough one.
Dang,
that's a really tough one. I mean, I think McCaffrey is the most versatile, but they're both also kind of injury prone. I would go McCaffrey, but I wouldn't blame anybody for going Saquon. He's played really well this year.
Yeah, dude, it's good to see him back and doesn't look like he's took much of a hit athletically, because that was the concern. I mean, what did he? Right. It was either his Achilles or ACL last year.
Probably both, I feel like.
Yeah, I think he's honestly done both. But yeah, he's coming out. He's still got that juice, still got that explosiveness. I mean, it's cool that both of them didn't get hurt this year. And that was what my concern was coming into the season, especially with Christian McCaffrey. I mean, he's just such a smaller guy. I mean, I never thought he would necessarily be able to make it a full season with that small frame.
Right.
But he did. And the Niners really came up on getting him. I mean, I don't know how undefeated without him or with him.
Yeah.
Says it all right there. Yeah, all right, cool. I need to come up with a name for that segment. I'm gonna come.
I love the I don't know segment.
I don't know. It's just catchy, No one fucking knows what the hell it is. All right, well, that's all I have for today. Anything else you wanted to talk about? Any topics or anything?
Nothing really. I mean, I think we covered most of it. Who do you think is gonna win the Super Bowl if you had to choose right now?
I'm going Bills, man. I've been going Bills since the beginning of the season. I got to stick with them. I think, like I've said it multiple times, but yeah, after that game last year, the way they went out in KC against KC, I think they have just been on a absolute mission to show that they should have probably went to the Super Bowl last year if they would have beat the Bengals. I'm going to roll with the Bills, but I think it's the AFC. I think it's for sure going to be the AFC this year. I don't see the NFC teams being able to put up as many points as an AFC team coming out of that. If any AFC team that comes to the Super Bowl and gets the hell out of the tournament, they're going to have to beat the Bills or the Chiefs. They're going to be hard to beat, hard to stop. And, but yeah, I think it's going to be the Bills for sure.
That's not a tough one.
You're going with the Bills too?
I like the Bills on that side for sure, but I would love for Dallas to make it. I don't really see it, but I just feel like San Francisco is on another level though. So if they get there, you never know. I mean, I think they can upset the Bills, but
yeah, man, it's just that, and it's so stupid because it doesn't really make sense. But that just because he's a rookie, it's hard for me to see a rookie.
That's
not
true.
to mention fucking Mr. Irrelevant,
right?
Come out and win a Super Bowl, but it could happen because he has been playing well. Do you think Brock Purdy has secured his spot as a starting QB for next year?
I don't know. I mean, I look at it from two lenses. I look at it like you're not going to pull somebody that's helping you win, especially if you win a Super Bowl. You're not just going to, we're going to pull you. But also, if Brock Purdy can do it, no offense to Brock Purdy, I think he's great. I mean, don't you think Trey Lance could also do the same thing? If that's the guy that y'all drafted, if he can do the exact same thing, like put the same offense in, I mean, that wouldn't surprise me if he could, if that's the guy that y'all want to be the future. But that should be interesting. I think Brock Purdy is the best thing to happen for like Stetson Bennett and quarterbacks like that are going to get drafted late, and it gives them hope and it makes teams, because it's a copycat league. So they're going to draft quarterbacks late, and you never know with injuries. So
yeah, absolutely. And Stetson Bennett, that's Georgia's QB, yeah.
Yeah.
So I was actually going to ask you about that. So he is going to go to the draft.
Yeah, he has to now. It's like he's 25 years old. He's old.
The guy's an old man coming in the draft.
Yeah.
You remember back in the day, what was his name? Who got drafted to the Browns?
Brandon Weeden.
Brandon Weeden. Was he like 28?
Yeah, he was old.
Why would the Browns ever draft a 28-year-old QB?
That's just a Browns thing to do.
That was the most Browns fucking move ever.
Yeah.
Speaking of the Browns, do you think they'll ever get it together? I mean,
I don't know. It's hard. I mean, the guy they have leading as far as offense is concerned is I'm not going to throw too much shade. I guess he's innocent. I don't know, but I don't know. I don't think they're going to be able to figure it out. They've been a dumpster fire for a while.
Yeah, man. I feel like there's just some organizations that there's not you couldn't bring anybody over to make you better. I mean, I think it's just a cancer within the organization, and the Browns seem to have that. No matter who they bring over, they have a fucking top 15 draft pick for probably the last 20 years.
Yeah.
I mean, and they still can't get shit together. I mean, I don't know. Maybe it's because I'm a Steeler fan, but man, this team is just they're terrible. They're absolutely terrible.
They are.
Well, Jonesing for Jones, aka Stephen Jones, aka Da Jones. Thanks for coming back on to the TBloom Talk Show, man. It's always a pleasure having you on. Good shit on your podcast. I watch all your, Instagram videos. Which by the way, if you don't mind me getting some secrets, I already stole one thing out of your playbook with the subtitles and stuff like that.
Right.
So when you're putting on those, you recently started putting on like game film, right. Highlights, and you're voicing over those. Do you just pull those off of YouTube and then put them on?
Honestly, I'll talk about like what I want to talk about first, and like I want to make them quicker because I'm learning that people's attention spans aren't long, right? I mean, people will watch a podcast, but I mean, they're more likely to watch a 10-second or 15-second clip. And that's what I've learned so far. So I just talk I try to make it quick, and then I find like a highlight that is kind of around what I'm saying, and then I just play it. And then editing wise, it's pretty similar.
Right. Yeah. I mean, so you do just pull it off YouTube. That's what I thought too.
Yeah.
And there's no copyright infringements or anything like that?
Unless you do like the full game, you should be fine. I mean, 10 seconds, I mean, they're all over TikTok. People are doing it. And I kind of had to make an adjustment because, I mean, my views weren't falling, but it was like they were just staying stagnant. I mean, and the one I just posted about Brett Maher yesterday is at like 14K. So, I mean, I feel like people are gravitating towards those more. So, and it's also easier on me. I don't have to set a whole bunch of stuff up.
Yeah, no doubt. I still don't have the pro. I'm never getting pro. I'm sorry.
I don't blame you. That's terrible.
Yeah. What was it, like $1,200 for?
Yeah, it's the most unnecessary thing ever.
Yeah. So what's the sweet spot for the amount of seconds you're looking for? What do you?
I'd love to get max 15 seconds. Honestly, that's what I'm trying to get to. I mean, I have some that are like 20 seconds. I even have some that are like almost a minute. But it's all. I mean, people's attention spans are really, really short. So. You just got to do something that's going to grab it, and hopefully they comment because then your video plays in the background too. So
yeah, no doubt. Well, sorry to keep you fucking for so long. I mean, that's only 8:23. All right, yeah. Hey, Stephen Jones, thanks for having me on. I mean, not much else to say, man. I appreciate it, brother.
Yes, sir. I appreciate you always, man. You're the best.
Awesome, man. Have a good day.
Yes, sir. You too.
All right, Jonesing for Jones. Thank you for coming on again. It's always a pleasure. Always good to hear from you. And we're at the point where we're bringing in for the first time a little friend of mine. His name is Justin Child, a.k.a. Chiii, a.k.a. the only Patriot fan I know, a.k.a. maybe the biggest Patriot fan in the world. Check him out, ladies and gentlemen. Justin Child, a.k.a. Chiii, a.k.a. the only fucking Patriot fan I know. Welcome to the TBloom Talk Show, your first ever episode. Hopefully the first of many.
Thanks for having me, bud.
Yeah.
I'll come on anytime you want. Honored. It's a privilege. All the above.
All right. Awesome. Sounds good. I mean, just so you guys know what you're getting yourself into, like I said, the only Patriot fan I know. So we're going to talk some Patriot stuff. So for you Patriot fans out there, this is the time to key in, listen in, and, get some perspective on, some other Patriot fans out there in the world. How's it going today? How's your morning been?
It's good, dude. It's productive. I went to the gym, got up like I was going to work, but I went to the gym instead, got the kids up. They're eating breakfast, watching a show. Mom's still sleeping a little bit.
Oh, there you go. Oh, I hear Nora in the background. She's wild.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
What
She's
we
a little
hit today?
sad. No more Patriot football.
Oh, yeah. I doubt it. What did we hit today at the gym?
Oh, we did a little pole day. Little pole day on the upper body, yeah.
There we go. Nothing wrong with a little pole day. All right, let's get straight into it. Like I said, Patriot fan. Let's go ahead and just give me a good grade with how the Patriot season went down. Take it into perspective where you thought it would be and where you ended up. What's a good grade you would give?
Man, I'd have to go with the F plus.
Okay.
An F plus. And the plus is only because somehow, some way, at the end of it, we still had a chance to control our own destiny, and we didn't because we sucked this year. And that's where the F comes in. Just really disappointing, dude. The fact that Bill let us go into the season with a second-year quarterback in a system like his, with no offensive coordinator, but two guys who are defensive minded and special teams at most. Not offensive guys, never coached on the offensive side of the ball. You look at their teams, when they've ran teams, I think that's pretty reflective of their talents on offense. Like as coaches, so the fact that Bill let us go in just in that situation, not trying to set us up for better success, I didn't like that.
Mm-hmm. So what would be a season that would be like a C? Like what would have made it a C?
I think
Why the F plus?
Mac's first year would be a C, where we made the playoffs, but we got our ass whooped. So it's like, were you really meant to be there? Or was it just, happy to be part of the dance?
Mm-hmm. So are you thinking A is Super Bowl? Like, is that what you're?
I'm a spoiled fan. You know it, T. My whole fandom was Tom Brady. We got high standards in New England, just like Pittsburgh. You never had a losing season under Mike Tomlin. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
You get 6 Super Bowls, you get up, past 4 or 5, you start to have higher standards than other guys and other teams and fans.
No, I hear you, man. It's definitely it's new territory. It's uncharted territory for both of us.
Haven't won a playoff game in 4 years.
Yeah. I mean, I haven't won a playoff game since fucking a long time. Time, but
it's
we're not
sad.
Here. Yeah, it is sad. It's the end of an era, but so you're giving it an F plus. Wow. Okay. I mean,
yeah.
Respect.
I mean, look at the season too, dude. The Raider game. That I don't even want to get into that because
oh man,
all the Patriot fans can cry about, well, it shouldn't even have been there. They shouldn't have got that touchdown. Well, it was. It happens. The NFL, the refs suck sometimes. Sometimes you just get fucked. We've been on the opposite side of those for plenty of years. So you had the chance to just run it out, go to overtime, and give yourself a chance to beat that team. And I don't even want to get into it. I don't know how you look at games like that. You look at the Minnesota game on Thanksgiving where that was one of our better games as an offense, but we just couldn't seal the deal. Like, we just weren't good.
No, I hear you, man. So you're giving yourself an F plus, the Patriots an F plus. What are some key moves you want to see this offseason to maybe boost that grade overall next year?
I think it starts off definitely, dude. You got to get a coordinator.
Mm-hmm.
You got to get an offensive coordinator. I just like to see him build around Mac too. Like we have the 14th overall pick. If there's a stud offensive lineman out there, go snag him. I mean, Bills drafted Cole Strange with 29th, 28th, whatever picked we had last year. And I mean, he wasn't great, but he showed potential to develop into a really good lineman. It's just he needs time. I'd like to see us get a guy you plug him in and he's immediate impact.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe a tackle. Tackle was a revolving door. We had a solid offensive line, but our tackles were sus. Trent Brown and Isaiah Wynn can't stay on the field.
Mm-hmm. So you guys went first round lineman last year?
Yeah.
So you like to see that, do it again, just shore up that line?
Oh yeah. Okay. Because Bill doesn't have a good track record with wide receivers in the draft. I do not want to see us go wide receiver in the first round.
Mm-hmm. What about what's his name? Addison out of USC.
I mean, you got to think 14th overall pick, is a guy like that going to be there?
It's about around where they project him to go.
Fingers crossed. I don't try to get my hopes up with the draft because you never fucking know. I mean, the Aiden Hutchinson and Thibodeau stuff last year, I didn't see that coming. I thought Aiden Hutchinson would be a giant.
Yeah. Aiden Hutchinson, that guy balled out this year.
Yeah. I mean, I'd love to get a talent like that, but last time we took a receiver, Bill took N'Keal Harry over Deebo Samuel.
Right. But in hindsight, that's easy to say. But I mean, yeah, like you said, you guys just don't have the best success drafting.
I mean,
receivers.
Yeah. AJ Brown was in that draft. DK Metcalf was in that draft. So it's not like it's just like, oh, I get the hindsight 2020 thing, but a lot of other guys in that same class are performing still.
That's true. That's
Who
true.
were taken after Nikhil.
You guys think you guys make a move towards DeAndre Hopkins or anything?
I'd love to see it. And the only reason I believe in it is just because I don't know if you saw that snippet of the mic'd up between him and DeAndre during the season, but DeAndre said he loves him.
That's
he said,
true.
I love you, man. What kind of comment is that? To me, that stood out. He's never played for him. When have you ever heard of them having any kind of relationship? And he said, I love you, man. And then I think there's a little Bill teaser at the end. He said, I'm just trying to do my job. I'm just trying to get better. I think Bill walked away with a stiffy after that.
Dude, I can see it.
Damn it, I'm going to send the house for you, DeAndre. I could see him giving him pick 14. Not that I'd agree with it, but
I don't know. Yeah, I wouldn't give.
And the only reason I say that is because a couple years ago, you look at that Mohamed Sanu trade, we gave up a second-round pick to Atlanta for Mohamed Sanu.
Yeah, that's stank.
Bill, something about trading for receivers. He's crib,
man.
Car. You want a pool too?
Jesus Christ. So I thought DeAndre was a free agent, no? Or
I think he has another year or two on his contract.
Gotcha. Okay. Well, shit. I could see you guys trying to make a move for him. I mean, it would make sense to at least grab another piece. I mean, personally, I like Jacoby Myers. I think Jacoby Myers is your guys'
Yeah, absolutely. He's a free agent.
Oh,
That's
really?
the only thing that gets me. Yeah. I hope Bill pays him. I hope Kraft, I hope they can. I think it works out just because of his success with it. Like, he was an undrafted wide receiver, and he was high and low our most consistent offensive piece when he was on the field. Like, you knew when he wasn't on the field, that offense played way different.
Yeah.
So I see it getting done. And if that happens, do they still make a move to DeAndre Hopkins, having Devontae Parker, and then re-signing Jacoby Myers and having Kendrick Bourne under contract still?
Well, they don't use Kendrick Bourne.
Exactly. And I think that's more of Patricia. So that goes back to the getting offensive coordinator. I want a guy to come in here and realize what he has. I mean, you look at when Kendrick Bourne touched the ball last year, dude, it was night and day difference on offense. No other player on that offense was making that energetic of plays, just giving us that oomph that we needed. And then they take him off the field.
Yeah. I didn't understand that either. I mean, you got to think that's some sort of conflict between the coaches and the receiver.
Rumor has it he did something, showed up late to something in the offseason, got in Patricia's doghouse. And I mean, that was rumored in Detroit that Patricia just power trips. He tries to be like Bill a little too much. For whatever reason, he stayed in that doghouse all year. But when he did touch the field, you couldn't deny that the offense was just better.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, Kendrick Bourne is a reason why you guys traded for him, right? Or
no, we signed him.
Or signed him?
He was with the Niners for a couple years, and Nick actually, right when we signed him, I didn't know who he was, to be honest. And Nick hit me up and was just like, "Yeah, I think he could be great. Like, I think he has potential to be a stud. And I love him."
Yeah.
You read nothing about his energy during practices. Even when he's not playing all year last year, he would come to practice, bring the energy in the media. Nothing but I want to be here. There was trade rumors. He said he didn't want to be traded. He wanted to stay here. He loved it. You want guys like that.
Yeah, absolutely.
And you look at his personality, and most people would be like, nah, it's not a Bill Belichick player. And that's the beauty of it, because it is.
Yeah.
Bill loves him.
Yeah. I mean, you got to think you got to find some way to get him on the field. And hopefully you guys do bring in that.
I see that
new
next
offensive
year.
Coordinator. Matt Patricia needs to go right back to defense. I don't know why that was ever a thing for him to coach an offensive team, but
and I think that was like I really think Bill let a personal relationship get in the way of a business decision, because he's been with Matt Patricia for years. Matt Patricia came up under Bill Belichick as like I don't remember what his first coaching position was, but he started off on the bottom pole. He worked his way up to defensive coordinator, became this well-respected guy, this genius on defense. And then you just try some whack experiment with a second-year quarterback in a system like that. The second year for a quarterback is supposed to be big.
Yeah.
And
not
you just
fucking
blew it.
Yeah. So transitioning off of that, F+ for the season. Who would you give your Patriot MVP to if you had to give an MVP award to somebody on the Patriots for the season?
Can I say the entire defense?
Sure.
Because I don't see us winning those 8 games if our defense didn't play the way they did.
Mm-hmm.
A top defense all year, I forget the exact number. We set a record for sacks. I mean, the best I've seen a Patriot D line as a whole in years.
Mm-hmm.
But if I had to give it to one player, I'd have to say Ramondre Stevenson.
Oh, the running back.
Yeah. I mean, he does everything. He could be a 3-down, all-down back. He could be a power back. He's an elusive back. He's a receiving back.
Mm-hmm.
Got a James White type role to him, but a little better in terms of being an all-down back. James White wasn't a 3-down back, But and it was different. You saw the difference, like I said, with Jacoby Myers when he wasn't on the field. Ramondre, that offense was a lot worse. He was the first 1,000-yard Patriot rusher since LeGarrette Blount in 2016. To put it in perspective.
Wow. LeGarrette Blount's your last 1,000-yard rusher. That's crazy.
In 2016.
Jesus Christ, what an era that was. Okay. I like that. So we'll say Ramondre Stevenson plus the defense.
Yeah.
Okay.
I'm gonna get her down real quick. Hold on.
Yeah, for sure.
Kids, man, little buggers. Gotta love them.
So let's just go right into it, man. If Tom wants to come back, Tom Brady, are you bringing him back, or are you done with him? You taking your ex back?
Okay. Okay. You know me personally. You know how I feel about Tom Brady. So I personally would never tell Tom Brady no if he wanted to come back.
Mm-hmm.
But I just don't see it being I don't see why that benefits either party.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Tom's at a point. It is Tom Brady. I think we've all gotten to the point where you have to be like, no matter what, I don't care if the guy's 63 years old with a little limp. It's Tom Brady.
Mm-hmm. He's earned that right.
Right. But it's inevitable that he's getting to a point in human nature where it's not likely that your body and all that can keep up, no matter how much you dedicate to it, can keep up with constantly getting hit like that, constantly just keeping up with these young stud quarterbacks who are they're gonna run you up. You better be able to keep up. Baby, it's a commercial, love. She don't understand commercials. So when the show stops, she's like, what?
I don't understand commercials. What the fuck is that? Why is there commercials? Fucking stupid.
Yeah, life's not fair, baby. It'll be back in 2 seconds.
All right. So yeah, Tom, if obviously.
But with all that being said, he's at a point where he needs to put himself he has to be a businessman. He has to go to a situation where it's just like, I can be almost like that last piece. It's not like, all right, we need this, we need a run game, or the defense isn't top 5 or 10.
Mm-hmm.
Like, and you look at New England's situation, they're going into year 3 of getting past you, moving on.
Yeah. With
the young quarterback, like, why would you even postpone where you're at in that?
Yeah.
I just don't see it being a logical thing for either party.
Yeah.
As much as we all love to see it in New England.
Well, okay, yeah, in New England, I was going to say.
Exactly, yeah. No, maybe not you guys over there in Pittsburgh.
I don't know if I necessarily want to see Brady. I think it'd be weird to even see Brady in those New Jerseys. I think it's classic.
I mean, he played in them. They were our color rushes when he was with us in the final couple years.
Oh, well, yeah, but to see him every game,
Yeah. Oh, yeah, in the whites and all that, yeah.
Yeah, that would just be weird. So, like I mentioned before, I hope you came up with a good one here. Besides Tom Brady, obviously, who's the greatest Patriot to ever play?
Dude, this was tough, especially when you just start going down the rabbit hole and really thinking about all the players, dude.
Mm-hmm. I got one person in my mind. I'm thinking you're gonna say him.
And I think we're gonna agree on this because we're fans of the sport, and you think about it, it's undeniable. You got to give honorable mentions to guys like Ty Law, Vince Wilfork, Richard Seymour, John Hanna, Ben Coates. You don't know those guys, and I want to focus more on guys in my era of fandom. You know what I mean? Not guys before my time, but as a big diehard Patriot fan, those are just names that over time I've come to know. Gronk's got an asterisk by his name because you got to think what that guy was in his prime. Imagine half the injuries he had. People forget 3 forearm injury surgeries, ACL, back surgery twice. Like, dude was fucking a walking injury prone, and he was still arguably one of the greatest tight ends of all time. So just imagine that guy healthy majority of his career.
Mm-hmm.
But when it came down to it, dude, it's undeniable. It's got to be Adam Vinatieri.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Adam Vinatieri?
Yeah.
I personally thought you were going to say Vince Wilfork.
Vince Wilfork.
And that's what I thought you were going to go.
It came down to, for me, just personally me, other Patriot fans can think whatever the fuck they want. It came down to Ty Law, Adam Vinatieri, and Vince Wilfork. And I love Big V, man.
Mm-hmm.
But when you think about it, dude, people talk about Tom's career, how great Tom was. And then even the people that hate Tom, they just say, well, he had legendary defenses in those Super Bowls.
Mm-hmm.
Ty Law had 3 picks on Peyton Manning in the AFC Championship in 2003 to send him against a hot Peyton Manning offense. Like Peyton Manning coming into his prime. Pick 6 in the Super Bowl against Kurt Warner versus the Rams. Ty Law, I mean, that's a big play. That's one less touch. I mean, our offense didn't score that. So that's not a score in the game if he doesn't make that play.
Mm-hmm.
But Adam Vinatieri, you say all that, and then what happens if you put your offense in Tom marches down the field in those Super Bowls and the kicker doesn't have ice in his vein?
Yeah, especially in the snow in the tuck rule game. I mean, that.
And, don't even get me started on the playoff runs that leading up to it. Statistically, the makes, I mean, how accurate he was, even in the tuck rule game and all that. Like,
mm-hmm.
You have to give it to Adam Vinatieri. And one thing that I was unaware of is that second Super Bowl that he kicked the game-winning kick in, it made him the first ever player in NFL history to be the deciding factor of 2 Super Bowls. And then he did it again for 3. Like, wow. Come on, man. Ice in your veins. If you're talking about a fucking wide receiver or a skill position, you're like going crazy. But it's a kicker, so we forget about him.
Mm-hmm. No, I like it. I like it. Adam Vinatieri, I just didn't know you were going to bring him in because he did have kind of a second career with the Indianapolis Colts, but you can't deny where he started it all.
Got to respect longevity. Yeah, dude. Yeah. He has three rings are arguably his responsibility.
Yeah, no, I agree. I like it. Did Teddy Bruschi come to mind at all?
Dude, so Teddy Bruschi, you got...
What about Wes Welker?
Willie McGinnis, Wes Welker, Deion Branch.
Oh, Deion Branch.
Super
That's
Bowl
a
MVP
name drop right there. That
Randy
guy,
Moss.
You could throw Randy in there too,
dude.
I like it. Adam Vinatieri,
Andre Tippett.
I don't know who the fuck that is.
He was a defensive end for us, one of our better defensive ends.
Okay, all right,
dude. So many names. That was hard. I was on that.
I knew it stumped you.
For a while, dude. Yeah. That was a good one.
Yeah. Okay. So Adam Vinatieri, the greatest Patriot.
Julian Edelman. You know how I feel about him.
Ooh, Jules.
Like,
would you put Jules over Wes Welker?
I would. Me personally, I would. But you know how I feel about Julian Edelman. That's why.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. So let's get away from the fucking Patriot talk. Enough of that shit. Let's get into the second round.
Here all day.
Second round playoff predictions. Let's start off with the Niners versus the Cowboys. Who you got?
Niners. But I just have them. To be honest, dude, I got the Niners winning it all.
You're staying. Why?
And I know you don't want it to happen, and you've been fighting it forever, dude. But they're just, besides Philly, because I can't deny that Philly is really complete. I just think it's going to come down to the defenses, and that Niner defense, with how complete of a team they are, with Brock Purdy doing what he's doing. All you got to do is not lose the game, son. You got Debo, you got Kittle, you got CMC.
Yeah.
You got Brandon Ayuk.
I hear what you mean.
And the kid has yet, at least, I'm not watching a ton of Niner games, but I haven't really seen the kid put them in positions to lose games that they should win.
That's true. But I think it's going to come down to he might have to win it. Can he go out and win it for them? Because you think about these juggernauts that are coming out of the AFC, man. Whoever comes out of the fucking AFC, It's not going to be Jacksonville. Let's just put it that way. It's going to be the Bengals, Bills, or the Chiefs. They're putting up 30 at least. You got to think.
Yeah.
You have to
Yeah.
think.
Yeah.
But yeah, I personally, I don't want any of these two teams to win the Super Bowl. I'd rather have the San Francisco 49ers win it before the Dallas Cowboys. So
I think the whole world.
I think the whole world except for Dallas can agree on that.
Part of me would love to see it a little bit, maybe just another win, and then heartbreaker in the championship because screw Dallas.
I'm leaning towards Dallas winning this game.
What are you doing?
Like I don't want them to win, but I'm leaning towards Dallas winning this game.
Something tells me that there might be an upset.
I could see it. I think this is Brock Purdy's toughest defense he's had to face.
Yeah, and like you said, we haven't seen him win it.
Mm-hmm.
So can you, if your defense doesn't show up, can you go out and keep up with Dak Prescott?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, well, I mean, yeah, we'll see. I think it's going to be a kind of a low-scoring game, but you go going with San Francisco. I'm just rolling with Dallas. Something's
it has to be a
low-scoring
game with those defenses.
Yeah.
But in the the flip side that he has to go win that.
Yeah, we'll see. Let's go to Jacksonville versus the Kansas City Chiefs. Does Jacksonville have a chance at all?
I'd love to see it.
We all love to see it.
I made a comment to you in private one time a couple weeks back about how I thought that if the Jaguars won the game against the Chargers, somebody's Super Bowl window's open. And I don't go back on that. I think if there is anybody, I think Trevor Lawrence, man, how do you go into a playoff game and you throw 4 picks in the first half and you're down bad? This is your first ever playoff game too.
Yeah.
So not only do you got that whatever those nerves feel like,
and to stay in it, to stay in the game mentally,
to come out of halftime and be confident enough, because that's like half the battle as a quarterback, dude. Like, look at Tyler Huntley. Look at the confidence difference when he got down bad. Like they were in the game. You had a game-changing fumble.
Yeah.
But the guy didn't, like, he came off the field and you see Trevor Lawrence come off the field after his fourth pick. The dude didn't look shook.
Mm-hmm. No, that's sure.
Dangerous. Yeah, love. I see you. You're drinking something.
Kids are so funny.
She's a stern one.
Fucking okay. So yeah, so you got the Chiefs though taking this one.
At the end of the day, yeah.
Okay.
It more than likely, I think Patrick Mahomes is getting to the Brady territory where you might as well, if they're really talking honest, give him the MVP every year. Mm-hmm. He's probably going to be in the AFC Championship
again.
Yeah, and if not, represent the AFC in the Super Bowl.
Yeah. I see it kind of being like the Niners Seahawks in the sense of, it's going to be a close one probably going into half, I'd imagine. But then that second half, they're just gonna pull away. It's just gonna be.
You'll see inexperience versus experience.
Yeah. I think that's what we're looking at here. What about the what's the next one? Oh, probably the game of the week, arguably. The Bengals versus the Bills, the game that never happened. Who you going with? What are we seeing?
Dude, that's big. They're all probably going to be feeling some type of way too, just because of the whole situation.
Stumped.
I am stumped on that one. But I've said it from that Week 18 game versus Patriots. I just think they got angels on their sideline now a little bit over there in Buffalo. Two returns, their first fucking kick return in 3 years or whatever it was. Then they came out of half, returned the kick again. Like, I just think they got something bigger than a Super Bowl that they're fighting for, that it's going to be like a Rudy football movie type.
Rudy.
Like, it's just a good, feel-good story, dude.
I hear you. I know what you mean.
They've been to 4 Super Bowls. They don't have a single ring to show for
4
it.
Super Bowls in a fucking row.
And have no gold, no jewelry to show for it.
That is just such bad luck, man. I mean, God.
But with that being said, makes you confident that Joe Burrow might just go back.
Dude,
I don't not like that. Joe cool.
Joe Burrow. I mean, yeah, it's gonna be a big one. I can see it being 31-35.
But you gotta
some high scoring game.
You gotta look at their game against the Ravens last week, though.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, dude. I mean, that's a division game. AFC North, we always play each other tight, and I seen that coming.
And like everyone says, you play a team 3 times, You can't. There's no telling.
Yeah,
Like,
yeah.
all right,
It's
we've
hard.
seen each other's cards twice already this year. Like, there's not
Mhm.
too much that you can change up. It's going to be just a brawl.
Yeah.
But you just got to think, if Lamar was there, are we even talking about the Bengals this week?
Dude, Lamar's so overrated. I'm so sick and tired of this Lamar drama. I'm telling you, we've seen the best. Hot take. We've seen the best days of Lamar. Okay, it's all downhill from now.
Do
I'm
you know
telling you
what's
right
weird?
now.
Do you know what's weird? I'm reading a lot and hearing a lot in, Patriot Nation sources and all that,
What?
that we're one of the favorites to go after Lamar.
Oh my God, give me a fucking break.
But as a Patriot fan, you just have to think that that's just some of that offseason noise you hear every year, because why the hell would we, A, give Lamar the crib and some when
Yeah,
we need others things besides a
you
quarterback?
guys don't give anybody shit.
And then why would we just change up our whole offense for the like? No, it's just not a thing.
Yeah, I
But
doubt that is gonna happen.
Vegas supposedly some betting thing in Vegas has us as one of the top teams likely to go after him. I hope not.
Yeah, I like the Jets going after him, but I heard reports that Baltimore he's in on the process of their new offensive coordinator hiring. So the fact that Baltimore is saying, "Hey, we want you to be a part of who we hire," I think that pretty much kind of gives us
and
a
if
good
Baltimore's smart after their offense, the team is constructed for Lamar Jackson, so you might as well. That's a team that should make him the guy.
Absolutely. I mean, you're already balls deep into his career. I mean,
knee injury is a little scary for a quarterback like that, but
yeah,
I mean,
that's what. Yeah, and they got to get a receiver around him, man, because they have shit receivers. They got fucking Demarcus Robinson or I forget
Watkins.
Those were like the 4th and 5th string receivers on the Chiefs, and they got him as number ones. I feel bad for Mark Andrews personally because
he's the number one.
He's their fucking number one everything.
He's got to carry him every time.
Yeah, I mean, a good fucking example, a play that could describe the amount of fucking, how valuable and how much they use him is that play where Tyler Huntley fumbled it and they ran it back to the house, and who was the only one chasing him down?
Yep.
Mark fucking Andrews.
Your tight end.
Yeah, I personally love it. Steeler fan could keep having.
He deserves better.
Yeah, but Mark Andrews, man, if he was, oh my God, you put him
great
with
tight end, dude.
You put him with fucking, say you bring him to even fucking, I don't know, Jacksonville. Say you bring him to Jacksonville. Trevor Lawrence has that kind of weapon. That just immediately opens up that fucking.
He's kind of rejuvenated Evan Ingram's career, though.
That's true. Yeah, Evan Ingram.
Like that playoff game. Evan Ingram really stepped up.
Scoring that touchdown before the half to go and get some momentum.
He looked like college Evan Ingram, rookie year Evan Ingram on the Giants.
Yeah. Speaking of the Giants, let's transition to the next fucking. I think this is going to be the best game. The New York Giants, Philadelphia Eagles.
Nora, you gotta get off his face, baby. My bad. Hold on.
All good.
I know you love him and stuff, but you can't be all up on him like that. Hold on, I'll be right back.
All good. Sit down next to him. Let's put him on the ground. Keep your blanket out of his face. Okay? You can't have blankets on his face. They're too small. He doesn't know how to move his face. Okay.
Sorry, dude.
Hey, no worries.
Got a little 2-on-1 handicap this morning, so.
Oh, I don't know how you do it, dude. I don't know how the fuck you do it.
Once you become a dad, you get these things called dad powers. I didn't know how I was going to do it either.
Just get fucking +5 strength.
Awareness goes up 20.
Stamina boosted. Awareness goes up 20. I'm sensing things, hearing things I've never heard before.
It's too quiet.
Yeah. All right, so let's go. New York Giants versus the Philadelphia Eagles. I think this is going to be the game of the week.
Another team. They play each other the third time this year. Gonna be a fucking brawl. Not too many things you can change up. They've seen each other's cards. It's a matter of, can Daniel Jones and the Giants show up in this moment?
Mm-hmm.
Kind of like Brock Purdy, where he has a lot more experience, but we haven't really seen Daniel Jones in this situation. Can he win this type of situation? It was questioned, can he even take a team to these levels at the beginning of this season? And I'll admit, being the biggest Daniel Jones hater at the beginning of the season, that he kind of made me eat my words. He balled out
last week. Holy shit.
He balled. And in a game like that,
Mm-hmm.
and against a team like that, the throws he was making, dude, like stud.
Yeah.
That is the top 5 pick or wherever the hell they drafted you at.
Yeah, that was exactly the reason why they drafted him. I mean,
yeah, I understand.
Yeah, he balled out, and for a Giants team to score that, because it was going to be a shootout. They had to score points that game. They just couldn't be score 17 and win the game. The Vikings are built to fucking score the ball, and to outscore that team, that shows. I mean, they're really developing, and to do it without really a true number one,
yeah,
is remarkable.
Richie James and Darius Slayton.
Richie fucking James, yeah. So who you going with? You rocking with Philly?
Yeah, I do think Philly wins it, but I would not be surprised if we see the Giants moving on.
Yeah.
I think I, more than anybody, know you don't count those fuckers out no matter what.
Don't count that guy out or those guys out. Fucking.
They might not have number 10 back there, but number 8 didn't look too shabby last week.
Number 8 kind of looks like Eli Manning, too.
He kind of resembles him. He's a, tall, dorky guy.
Yeah. No, for sure.
Even in the hottest moments, he's not like firing up on the sideline. He's kind of like, where are we?
Yeah. Oh, we got to go, coach? Yeah, fucking.
He's going home and he's doing whatever the hell he does every time he goes home, regardless if he wins or loses.
Yeah, I can see both happening, obviously. I want to roll with the Giants, though, man. I think.
Wouldn't be surprised, but I got Philly winning it.
Yeah.
I just like Philly. I'm a Jalen Hurts guy, too. I think he's just a winner.
You got to go with your boys.
Yeah.
I just think there's been
I don't think you'll ever hear me rooting for those guys. Yeah, on the other side.
There's been a long layoff of Jalen Hurts, injury. And I'm not sure what shoulder he injured, but if it's his throwing shoulder, there's got to be questions with that. Mm-hmm. And I've just been waiting for Philly to fucking just stumble. I've been just all year. I've been waiting. Okay, this is gonna be the game they stumble. Okay, this is gonna be the game they stumble. They never have.
Mm-hmm.
I think this is finally gonna be it. And I'm sorry, Charlie. I've said it before. Sorry, Charlie. I'm going with the fucking Giants this week.
Every time. Yeah, you shouldn't be going against the Philadelphia Eagles this season.
I know,
any longer,
man. I never learn. I
love to see it.
All right, so we got the predictions. One last question for you, Chiii, before I let you go. Get back to your kiddos. Who's your season MVP?
Oh, thank you. Man, part of me wanted to say Jalen Hurts because, they didn't stumble, but they were definitely a different team when Minshew was in, and they were a different team when he's not there. But I almost, can't say Lamar, but like I said earlier, Patrick Mahomes is getting to the point where it's like Brady, dude. He lost Tyreek Hill, and you thought, is he going to miss him? Is it going to be the same? They brought in Juju, but, I personally don't love Juju as a receiver. You do.
No. I mean, I wouldn't say love.
But, I mean, you liked him. I didn't. I don't know what it is about the guy. I don't like Juju. But he had, 5,000 something yards offense? Mm-hmm. How many ever touchdowns? He threw to so many different wide receivers. He still is Patrick Mahomes. Mm-hmm. He still is Patrick Mahomes. The Chiefs are still doing what the Chiefs did, and they lost arguably their biggest playmaker, not named Patrick
Mahomes. Easily their biggest playmaker, I think. Tyreek Hill, that guy's a fucking walking.
And it's not like they went out and got Juju. It's not like they went out and they were like, all right, let's go replace him with like
Devontae Adams or something.
Or go trade for A.J. Brown.
Yeah.
They went and got Juju Smith. And look, I just have a lot of respect for Patrick Mahomes. I'd give it to Patrick Mahomes.
Yeah, I agree. I think it really sucked that Jalen Hurts got hurt because he probably would have walked away with it.
Yeah.
But missing a few games, even as a quarterback, it's going to be with the amount of fucking talent that there is at the quarterback position nowadays.
How many people have lost the race because of that in the past?
Shit ton.
Yeah,
probably a shit ton.
Doesn't change just for you, buddy.
Yeah, no, I agree.
As much as we'd like to see it. I have one question for you though. How do you feel about Aaron Rodgers' comments the other day?
About what?
He was on Pat McAfee's podcast, and he said, I think I can still win an MVP in the right situation. Is it Green Bay? There's more conversations to be had.
I personally think I think it's best for both parties to just leave, to just separate, kind of like the whole Brady situation. It's not going to be an easy transition, or maybe it might be an easier transition for the Packers because they have Jordan Love. But I think it's not going to work out. They had their chance 2 years ago. Hell, you could say 3 years ago when they lost to Tampa Bay in the fucking playoffs. That was their best chance. They had the defense, had the run game, had the the Devontae Adams connection, and it wasn't working out. I don't see them getting a better team around him to be able to push. That. Yeah, no. I think if anything, he needs to go somewhere where they can win now. Maybe Tampa. Maybe fucking maybe the Raiders. I don't see him going to the Raiders, though. I don't see that happening. Yeah. No. Maybe he just retires and walks away.
That's been a big one. Yeah. I think it just made me look at him a little different because then Gronk came out and was like, why are you talking about MVPs? Don't you want to win a Super Bowl again?
I think that was kind of taken out of context. I think he was just saying,
And it might have been, but like with the stage of his career he's in, I just think that you would be more focused on going to a situation where
he said that he said that in the same interview. He said,
"Oh, did he?" And see, where I didn't watch the whole interview. I guess
he mentioned that he's not going. The only reason why he wants to play is if there's a chance that he can win the Super Bowl. Otherwise, there's no point to playing. That's what he also mentioned.
See, and then that makes sense.
Yeah, but
no. Then at the end of those comments, though, I don't think you're a Green Bay Packer again.
Yeah, I don't see why you would even.
I think he retires.
It could certainly be that way. Well, we got 30 seconds left, Chiii. Thanks for coming on the talk show. First time ever. First of many.
Yeah.
Love having you on.
Bro. I'd love to come back and talk about more football with you. It doesn't have to be Patriots, but we could always talk about the Patriots.
Absolutely. Everyone, Justin Child, a.k.a. Chiii. Round of applause. Thanks for coming on.
Thanks for having me, TBloom.
Yes, sir. Have a good one.
You too, buddy.
All right, everyone, and that's going to wrap up this episode of the TBloom Talk Show. I will see you guys next week, next Friday, for another episode. Hopefully, it's even bigger than today. I hope you guys enjoyed. Remember, leave a like, a comment, subscribe, tell a friend to tell a friend. Let's get this page boosting. Thank you guys for watching. TBloom out.